ஸோ தேர்ஸ்டே எந்த பிரச்சனையும் இல்லை. இப்போ பாருங்க, இப்போ நான் பேசுறது இதுன்னு பாருங்க. இப்போ நான் லைவ் போயிட்டேன். இப்போ கேட்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். கிரீன் கலராக வருது ஏதோ. பாருங்க ஒரு தடவை கேட்குதான்னு. நான் லைவ்ல தான் இருக்கேன். ஆமா, புது லைவ் ஆரம்பிச்சு பிளட் ரிலேஷன் பேஷண்ட் இருக்கு. இருங்க நான் பேசுறேன், நீங்க கேளுங்க. ரைட், ஓகே. ஸோ after this live ஓட லிங்க் ஒரே நிமிஷம். இப்ப கேக்குதுங்களா? நீங்க அப்படியே ஒரு தடவை செக் பண்ணிக்கங்க. நான் ஒரு 2 மினிட்ஸ் மட்டும் நான் அப்படியே கண்டினியூஸா பேசுறேன். நீங்க எனக்கு மெசேஜ் அனுப்புங்க, பேசுது கேக்குதுன்னு. ஓகே. Right. Okay, guys. We'll get started here. I hope the audio issues are all sorted. We'll get started here. So like I was saying, we were talking about this. We were talking about how you can use this. Make sure that first of all, every symbol will be defined a meaning. So here, A percentage B means A is the mother of B. Then A is the mother of B. A is the daughter of B. So all these relationships, all these symbols has meaning here. This if K, this is the what the relationship is given. You use this like an expression. Use this one symbol at a time. First, I'm going to find out what this means. Then I'll find out what Z percentage U means. Then I'll find out what U and H means. Then I'll find out what H hash N means. So I'll take one symbol at a time and draw this diagram so that you guys can see what the relationship is and then answer according to that. So I'll just do this question one more time. So what $Z means is, the dollar means it is A is the father of B. So K is the father of Z. So K plus Z. And Z percentage U. Z percentage U means the percentage sign tells you brother. So A is the brother of B. So here Z is the brother of U. So you can see Z is the brother of U. For male, we use plus sign. For female, we use negative sign. And U and H, what and symbol means is, it means A is the mother of B. So U is the mother of H. So that is why I negated U, and then this is U is the mother of H. And H hash N, what does hash mean? Hash means A is the sister of B. So here H is the sister of N. So you can see H is the sister of N here. And finally N at T. So the meaning for the symbol at would be A is the daughter of B, or I should say here N is the daughter of T. And because N is already the child of U, which is who is a female, definitely T must be male. And this indicates that they are a couple. So T and U are husband and wife. And if they ask you how is T related to you, you should say T is the husband of U. If they just inverse it and then say how is U related to T, you should say U is the wife of T. Okay, right. So this question answer is husband, B husband. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. So the next for the first one, even this one, it is easy. What I did is I was talking about how you could find the wrong set of letters. Okay, so these are all sets of letters. This is first set, this is second set, this is third set, fourth set, fifth set. One of these sets of alphabets doesn't belong. It doesn't belong. Okay, so what happens is when it doesn't belong, what you do is you have to first convert these alphabets to numbers. Okay, the first work for you is to convert these alphabets into numbers. So for that, I gave you this EJOTY, which is E is 5, J is 10, O is 15, T is 20, Y is 25. So just remember EJOTY, and then because it is easy to remember. Okay, because all these numbers are multiples of 5, right? So from this, any number, you need alphabet number for any alphabet. For J, it is 10. For, let's say, if you want K, we know it is JK, so definitely it will be 11. If we want for P, we know it is OP, so definitely it is going to be 16. If you want the number for the alphabet R, it is going to be RST. So it is going to be 18, which is the number for this. So just as in mind, using this, the alphabets and corresponding numbers you can substitute. So for C, it is 3. For M, it is 13. For Q, it is 17 because OPQ, right? O is 15. So Q must be 17 as Q is two letters after O. And FPT, F is 6, P is 16, T is 20. J is 10, T is 20, X is 24 because it comes before Y, right? And O is 15, Y is 25. Now C, you can see I marked C using two numbers. One is 3, the other one is 29. I'll tell you the reason. Okay. Now A to Z, guys, it so if you ask me what are the numbers for A, I would say 1, but even 27 is also A. Okay, because Z is 26. After that, 27 is again A, 28 is B, 29 is C. So that is how it is treated. And if you, so A can be written as 1 or 27. So there are situations where if you write it as 27, it will be very useful for you. Okay, so similarly here, writing C as 29 instead of 3 is useful for us. I'll show you how. Okay, and so just remember that if you know the one of the numbers, if you want the next number, just add 26. So you can see 1 plus 26 is 27, 2 plus 26 is this, 3 plus 26 is this. So add 26, and therefore you will get the thing that we are talking about. Okay, anyway, so now what we'll do is, if you look at this, once you convert it into numbers, look at this one here. 3 plus what will give you 13? 3 plus 10 will give you 13. 13 plus what will give you 17? 13 plus 4 will give you 17. 6 plus 10 will give you 16. 16 plus 4 will give you 20. 10 plus 10 will give you 20. 20 plus 4. So you can see the pattern here. It is 10 4 plus 10 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4, right? And here the pattern is not right. It is plus 11 and 3. So therefore this one is the odd man out here. This is the set of alphabets which doesn't belong here. Okay, so right, so now what we'll do is we'll move on to the next question, guys. Okay, hope now you understand both these questions. Now it's time for us to move to the third question. Now the third one here, this an arrangement question, very common among many companies, especially TCS. So let's read this question. We'll talk about how to solve this. Right. The question here is, guys, five teachers, P, Q, R, S, and T, teach a group of students in sequence between 9 and 2 p.m. Each teacher teaches for 1 hour. Q takes the first class, S teaches just after T, R teaches before P and T. Who takes the second hour from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.? So let me just explain this question first. So what they're saying is we have five teachers. So you can name them as P, Q, R, S, and T. And they all have classes, but the class slots are booked like this, like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. will be the first slot, and the next one will be 10 p.m. to 11. I mean, sorry, not 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. guys. Sorry for this. And 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. will be the next slot, and 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. will be the next slot, and 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. will be the next slot. Okay, so these are the five slots. I think there is one more. This fourth, fifth one is 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. This is another slot. So these are the five slots that we have, and they say that these five teachers, they all teach. Your job is to arrange these five teachers in these five slots. Okay, so take these five teachers and arrange them in these five slots. Now, how do you do that? They say it is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., right? So what we do is, not they Q takes the first class. So take the clues one at a time. Okay, so this is the first clue. Q takes the first class. So you can simply substitute Q in the first question. Okay, they clearly say Q takes the first class. Just substitute there. S teaches just after T. Okay, just S teaches just after T, which means after T, just after T, which means it should be like this. Okay, so when they say S teaches just after T, it should be like this. Okay, but we do not know, we can use T and S here, or we can use T and S here, or we can use T and S here. We do not know that, right? But we know that S teaches just after T. Okay, so now keep this clue. We'll come back to this. Okay, whenever you are not sure about a particular clue, guys, keep it separately, and we'll come back to this. So the next one is R teaches before P and T. So the next clue here is R teaches before P and T. Okay, so this one I'll put it in a different color. R teaches before P and T. Okay, now what does R teaches before P and T mean? Okay, because if you put T here and S here, okay, now R teaching before P and T is not possible. So this possibility of T and S is gone, right? So what are the possible for T and S? So you can have T here and S here. Now here also, now R teaching before P and T is possible. Okay, because then P could come here, then you can put R here. That is a possibility, right? Or if you have T and S here, you have T here and you have S here, right? Now again, you can put P here and then you can put R here. Okay, R teaching before P and T is a possibility. So any which way you could see the second R is start by R. Okay, either this or I gave you another possibility, right? So T here, S here, and P here. So in this case also you can R here. Okay, so this either this possibility or this possibility. Okay, this one or this one, but in both of this, comes in the second place. Okay, so because T teaches, S teaches after T, immediately after T, so we can care of that here, here S teaches immediately after T, so we've taken care of that. And so R teaches before P and T. So here also you can make it possible. Here also you can make it possible. Both situations, R is the one doing the second R. So who takes the second class from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.? It is R. It is definitely R. So we'll move on to the next question, guys. So the next question is, so, and before we move on to the next question, just wanted to tell you this. See these clues, guys. Whenever, see for this, for example, this clue here, Q takes the first class, right? You can directly use it here. Okay, when you can directly use a clue, please use it. But when they say yes teaches just after T, now you cannot use it directly because there are many possibilities. See, TS can be here, TS can be here, even TS can be here. Because there are many possibilities, keep it separate. We'll use the clues and try to come back to this again. Okay. Or we could maybe use this clue combined with this clue, which was the actual case, right? We were able to make use of this clue and this clue. Okay, we combined it and we were able to make use of that and understand R comes second. So when you are able to use it directly like this, please use it. But when you are not able to use it directly like this, try to combine it with other clues, or solve the other clues and then try to come back to this again. Maybe then you will be able to solve it. Okay, so this is the procedure. Now, right, next one is, next clue is this, right? So this is a data sufficiency question. I'll tell you how to do this, but just read this question and then we'll take it from there. Right. So, did you read the question? Given below is a question followed by two statements, each containing some information. Which of the following statements is sufficient to answer the question? How is A related to C? Okay. Again, this is a data sufficiency question. You will always see in data sufficiency questions, you will have statements and you will have a question. Okay, all you have to do is judge or reason if these statements are sufficient to answer this question. Okay, answer what? Answer this question. So your answer is either both one and two are sufficient. Statement one alone is sufficient. Sometimes statement two alone will be sufficient, right? So sometimes this one statement alone will be sufficient for you to answer this question, or sometimes this statement alone will be sufficient for you to answer this question, or sometimes you have to add the statements, or I shouldn't say statements, I should say data. You say data, you should add the data in both these statements in order to get the answer. Sometimes even if you add them together, you won't get the answer for this question. So depending upon how it is how it finds its place in any given question, these statements, you have to choose these options. So if you need both the statements in order for you to get an answer for this question, choose this, both one and two together sufficient. Even if you add the data in both these statements, still you are not able to get an answer for this question, use this, both one and two together not sufficient. Sometimes just one alone will be sufficient for you to answer this question. So in that situation, use this option. Sometimes just two alone will be sufficient. Alone. Okay, just two alone, stand alone. Two will be sufficient for you to answer this question. In that situation, use this option. So if you can get the answer, just put it in the chat box. I'll be like I'm very interested to know your thoughts about what the answer is for this question. But I'll give my take on it. But the question says, how is A related to C? Okay, we were previously talking about this in the first question, right? How is A related to C and how is C related to A are two different things. Now, how is A related to C? Here, the first let's check one alone. Okay, when you're checking one alone, the second one should not exist. Okay, I when I'm checking one alone, the second one should not exist. So right now for me only this statement one exists. So what does statement one say? A is the wife of B. So A is the female, B is the male, and A is the wife, which means this here is a couple relationship. So like I told you, for a couple relationship, you should use a double-headed arrow mark, like how I'm using it here. So use a double-headed arrow mark. So this is A is the wife of B. And they also say, and B is the brother of C. And B is the brother of C, which means B is a sibling and B is the brother of C. So this is what you get from the data in the first statement. Okay. So now the question is, how is A related to C? Now A is the B is the brother. Brother's wife will be sister-in-law. Correct. B is the brother for C, right? B is the brother. So your brother's wife must definitely be sister-in-law. So one alone is sufficient. Definitely one alone is sufficient. So you could say state one alone is sufficient. This is the correct answer. But don't leave it like that. What you could do is sometimes statement one alone could be sufficient, or statement two alone also could be sufficient. So in that case, so what you do is uh, black this one out and see if two alone is sufficient. Okay, that option is not given actually, but sometimes they'll give, if one alone is sufficient or two alone is also sufficient, this option will be given. Either one or two alone is sufficient. So this option might be there. So in this situation, use that. So statement C is the son of D. Now here you must forget about one. That is the most important thing. Forget about what exists. Just see if this is sufficient. Is this sufficient? What do you think? C is the son of D. Is this sufficient for you to answer the question? No, right? Because there is no mention of A at all here. Do you see any mention of A at all here? So definitely this is not sufficient. So statement 1 alone is sufficient, is the correct answer. Statement 2 alone is not sufficient. So I would choose this as the correct answer. Right? So any doubts in this? If you have any doubts, please do ask. If not, we'll move on to the next question. We'll try the next reasoning question. So the next reasoning question would be this one, guys. So I think by now you should know what you should do. Use again the number equivalent of letters. So you can make use of this E, J, O, T, Y. E's number is 5, J's number is 10, O's number is 15, T's number is 20, Y's number is 25. There you go. Find the wrong term in the letters. Please to see. Anyway, DRTO. Now, first, let's look at the first one. It is DRTO. So, what is the number for D? The number for D is 4. The number for R is 18. The number for T is 20. And the number for O is 15. Now, what is the next set of letters? J, X, Z, U. So what is J? J is 10, X is 24, Z is 26, U is 21. Now, the next set of letters is G, U, W, and R. So what is G? G is 7, U is 21, W is 23, and R is 18. Okay. So, and we'll go to the next one, MAOX. So MAOX. And M's number is 13, A's number is 1/27, O's number is 15, and X's number is 26. Okay, and JXUZ. The last one is JXUZ. So here J is 10, X is 24, U is 21, Z is 26. Now let's take a look at this case. Now that we have the numbers, let's try to understand the relationship here. So here the logic is, if you look at it, from 4 to 18. Okay, what is the logic here? Which is plus 15. From 4 to 18 is not plus 15, plus 14. From 18 to 20, it is plus 2. From 20 to 15, it is minus 5. Okay, Let's see what happens in the this it's in this case. Okay, so in this case again, from 10 to 24 is plus 14. So 10 to 24 is plus 14, 24 to 26 is plus 2, and 26 to 21 is minus 5. So you're starting to see a pattern here. Can you see a pattern here? Plus 14, plus 2, minus 5. Again, this is the third one. 7 to 21 is again plus 14. 21 to 23 is plus 2. 23 to 18 is minus 5. Again, you are seeing a pattern here, right? Now, for the MAOX, from 13 to 1, don't think of it as 1. I told you can think of it as 27, right? So, from 13 to 27, guys, it is plus 14 again. So, from 13 to 27, it is plus 14 again. From 27 to 15, so this is where the problem is. From 27 to 15, it is like minus 12, right? And from 15 to 26, it is like plus 11, right? From 15 to 26, it is going to be plus 1. It is not 26 actually, it is actually 24, right? X is 24. I'm sorry for that. If this is going to be plus 9. And JXUZ, let's say what happens with JXUZ. JXUZ for J, it is plus 10. For X, it is plus 24, right? So, which is plus 14, not plus 10, sorry. From 10 to 24, it is 14. From 24 to 21 is minus 3, actually, right? So, 14 minus 3. And from 21 to 26, it is plus 5. Okay. So, I think you could, see what is wrong here. Okay. 15 14 14 minus 3 plus 5, right? JXUC, right? You can see that again, I'm sorry, MAOX, right? It is MAOX, right? I'll just tell you what happens here, right? So the logic here is, guys, you just add these numbers. What is 14 plus 2 minus 5? It is 11, because you can see that these are two different things. So you would think there is a problem here, but there is no problem. Right? The reason is, if you add this again, 14 plus 2 is 16 minus 5 is 11. If you add this again, 16 plus 5 is 11. Now, if you add this again, 14 minus 12 is what? 2 plus 9 is 11. So only in the last one you won't get the sum as 11. So what is the sum here? You would see it is 14 minus 3 plus 5, right? 14 minus 3 is 11, plus 5 is 16. So this here is the odd man. Okay, because you add all these numbers, you get 11, 11, 11, 11, right? Only here you are getting 16. So therefore, this is the odd man out. Okay, I hope that made sense. Let's try the next question if it makes sense. If not, you can always ask in the chat box, guys. Please do ask in the chat box. I'll help you understand that. Right. The next question is going to be this one. 1 minute. I'll get rid of this. Right. So this is the next question, guys. Again, just make sure that you understand the question. This is the format of this question is very common. It is asked often. So let's understand this. Read this. I'll tell you how to do this. So what this question tells us is in each of the five pair of letter clusters. So when they say five pair of letter clusters, they are talking about this. These are the five pairs of letter. This is one pair. Pair means two, right? Because you have two here. So each of these five pairs of this, 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 this. In each of the five pairs of letter clusters, the letter in the second term or a rearranged transformed form of the letters has been put together in a particular pattern. So what they are saying, the letter in the second term, this is the first term, this is the second term. So these letters are a rearranged version of these letters. Similarly, these letters are a rearranged version of these letters. These letters are a rearranged version of these letters. Okay, so they are asking which among these five two options out of this five have the same logic. You have to find which two it is. Okay, when I say logic, the way they are rearranged will be the same. Okay, so two out of this five will be rearranged in the same way. So you have to find out which one it is, and I'll just remind you, this is rearranged version of this. Again, this is rearranged version of this, and so on like that. So how do we find this? So first of all, let's say here you have PL, here you have PL, right? The first two letters are the same. So maybe this could be that MA, right? Again, the first two letters are same. BL. So the first two letters are same. So this could be related. But here you can see TAAT, they've interchanged the first two letters. So definitely this cannot be in this category. So I use a different color there. CH and HC, again the first two letters are interchanged. So definitely this cannot be in this category. Now maybe these two are the ones. Okay, so we'll check the remaining letters. BLE is written as LBE. So what they've done is they've interchanged BL or interchange B and L as LB. But here, did they interchange it double E? If you interchange double E, you get double E only. But you can see it is not double E, it is RE. So definitely, it is not the same logic. So your same logic, you should find it between these three. Okay. So let's look at this AZ. How is it AZ? How did they write A as Z? Because A will be 1. A here will be 1. Z here will be 26. You add them together, you get 27. And similarly, N and M. So N is 13. So N is 14. M is 13. So 14 plus 13 is what? 14 plus 13 is 27 again. So N plus M is also 27. Similarly, T plus G is also 27. So here I have T is 20, G is 7. So together you will have 27. And A plus G is also. So that is the logic here. Similarly, here also N and M is 27. G and T is 27. O and L is 27 because O is 12. I mean, O is 15, L is 12. O plus L is definitely 27. So these two are the options that they're talking about. So the logic is the same, right? So because I'll write that also here, N plus M is equal to 27 and G plus T is equal to 27 and O plus L is equal to 27. So here also A plus Z is equal to 27. A plus Z is equal to 27. So these are the two. So A and B are correct options, guys. But you could see it is not the case here. A, B, it is the next letter. C, D is the next letter. K, P is not even the next letter. I don't know what logic this is. This is not the answer. So A and B are the correct answers here. Okay. So hope that makes sense. If not, please raise your doubts in the chat box or you can talk to me. That is also fine. So I don't think you'll be able to talk to me, right? Anyway, just put it in the chat box, okay? I thought it is a G beat. Okay, right. We'll move on to the next question, guys. Let's try the next one. Right, the next question is, let's see what the next question is. Okay, now it is a syllogism question. We'll talk about this in a bit. Okay, because for syllogisms we have to talk about something. uh, Anyway, I'll talk about this here in some time. Okay, usually we do syllogisms. So this is in this question both doesn't follow. Okay, I'll tell you how to do this. We'll come to this. Okay, so we'll do this after some time. Okay, because I need to teach you something. Syllogisms. This is a shortcut method that you can use. Not going to use Venn diagram method, but if you need to know this, how to do this for all syllogism problems, you can do this. You definitely should know this by heart. Uh, Maybe by some way, if you need it, I could send this file so that you guys can go through this and then have an understanding. We'll see. If you're interested, tell me. I'll teach you this method to do syllogisms. Okay, this is a particular method you need to know in order to do syllogisms. Okay, right. Just let me know in the chat box if you're interested. This is the next wrong term series. Let's try to find an answer for this. Right. So for this question, guys, let's try to get the answer for this question. Okay, it is I W L Z. What is the number for I? It is 9. For W, it is 23. For L, it is it is 26. If you are not sure about this, again, it is the EJOTY method. EJOTY method, where E's number is 5, J's number is 10, O's number is 15, and T's number is 20 and 25. So definitely I's number is going to be 9 because IJ, right? And W is going to be TUVW or WXY. Okay. L is JAL. Z is 26. You know this. The next one is N S O U. So if you try to write numbers 14, 19, 15, 21. Similar, the next one is S O T Q. So S's number is 19, O's number is 15, T's number is 20, Q's number is 17. The next one is X K A M, and X is 24, K is 11, A is 1 slash 27, M is 13. Okay, and the next one is C G J I. So C, it is going to be 3 slash 29, G is 7, J is 10, and I is 9. Now just look at this these numbers here. I'll put this like this so that you can follow these numbers properly. Column wise, I'll arrange it column wise so that you can see it here. Now you can see just by just look at it column wise itself. Okay, if you look at it column wise itself, you will get an idea, guys. Definitely, you'll get an idea if you look at it column wise itself. So look at this column wise itself. Okay, uh, if 9, 14, 19, 24, 29. What is the logic here? Right? When you look at it column wise, What here is the logic, guys? When you look at it column wise, it is very clear that, but you have to look at it column wise: 9, 14, 19, 24, 29, right? So it is plus 5. Okay, what is it is? It is plus 5. Similarly, look at this column wise: 23, 19, 15, 11, 7. So it is minus 4. Here it is minus 4. So what is here? 12, 15, 20, 27, 10. Now here this is the problem. Okay, there is nothing fixed which by which you can go about. Or maybe you can think, because you can see, I think there is here there is something which is fixed, because here it is plus 3 from right here, you could say it is plus 3, and then here it is plus 5, and that is plus 7, right? Plus 7, this is 10 slash 36. So you had say plus 9. So there is a logic here. Did you find the logic? Plus 3, then you have plus 5, then you have plus 7, then you have plus 9. Okay, so it is the odd number. It goes like this: plus 3, and then plus 5, right? And then plus 7, and go so on like that. Okay, it goes like that. And here is the problem. Okay, here minus 5, but minus 4, minus 4, minus 4. This should be 5 actually, right? Then only you will get minus 4 everywhere. Minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4. You will get it like this. But because it is 26, there is a problem. So this is the one which doesn't belong. Okay, this is the one which doesn't belong. This is different because it is, you are looking at it column wise, but still, you understand how we are doing it, right? So instead of Z, it should be Y in that position. You should have Y in that position instead of Z. So that is how we do this, right? So we'll try the next question. So you can see the usefulness of these numbers, guys. Okay, so sometimes you have to look at it, because if you look at it horizontally, if I look at the values from 9 to 23, it is plus 4. Then 23 to 12, it is minus 11. 12 to 26, it is plus 14. Okay, from 14 to 19, it is plus 5. So from 14 to 19, it is plus 5. From 19 to 15, it is minus 4. There is plus 6. So you can see there is no particular pattern here. From 19 to 15, it is minus 4. So I would say minus 4. 15 to 20, it is plus 5. And 20 to 17, it is minus 3. So there is no particular pattern at all for this. So that is why you had to look at it column wise for this question. Okay. From 24 to 11, it is minus 13. And from 11 to 27, it is plus 16, or minus 10, however you want to call it. And from this is plus 12. So there is no particular pattern. So you have to go look at it column wise, and that would make sense. So the next question is this one. Okay. Uh, let's try to solve this. So they're talking about people sitting around. So obviously, this is a seating arrangement question. So let's try to solve this case. Just read this, then we'll talk about the answer. So what is given in this question is, it says given below the question followed by two statements 1 and 2 each containing some information, decide which of the statements is sufficient to answer the question. So we know this already. This is a data sufficiency question, right? So what do we do in data sufficiency questions? We read the question, and we read the statements and see if these statements are sufficient for you to answer this question. And based on that, we choose one among this four options. Okay, right? So this is what we do actually. Now, first let's read the question. They say A, B, C, D, E sit around a circular table facing the center, not necessarily in that order. Who sits second to the right of D? Okay, so they are all facing the, they're sitting around a table and facing the center. Okay, so let me just draw a representation for this. So let's draw a circle. So this here is a circle. Fill it with colors. So I hope you're able to see a circle. Okay. Now A, B, C, D, there are five people. So I need to use five arrow marks, and they all must be pointing towards the center because they are all looking at the center. Okay, they are all looking at the center. Okay. So this one would be like this, and this one would be like this. Five people, right? And this one would be like this, and this one would be like this, right? So five people. Yeah, just assume that these are the five people. Okay. Now B is to, let me just pull this down. Right. And they say, let's see. So the procedure that we usually follow for data sufficiency equations is ignore this, okay, or black this out. You just have to see if one is sufficient. So for that, you should not get influenced by the data in the second statement. So what you do is ignore this, back this out, just see if this alone is sufficient for you to answer this question. So you we know that there are five people here. So let me just mark them. Let me just mark them as five people. So A, B, C, D, and E. We know there are five people here. Okay. Right. Sorry, guys. So we know there are five people here. Now they say A sits to the immediate right of E. Okay. A sits to the immediate right of E. So remember, so you can start anywhere. So if you put A here, if you place A here, A is to the immediate right of E. So E must definitely be here, right? A is to the immediate right of E. You can start anywhere. You can even put A here. You can even have the A here, have A here, but E must be here then. Okay. So A is to the immediate right of E. So I'm starting off with this. Who is not neighbor of D? Which means you cannot have who here refers to E, guys. Okay. So E is here you not have D. Okay. Here D is not possible. Okay. You cannot have D here. In this position, D is not possible. Okay, so what is the possibility for D? I'll use an arrow mark to point all this. Okay, let me first draw this arrow. Now see, now if you place A and D like this, you can place A anywhere. They just say A sits to the immediate right of E. So here A sits to the immediate right of E because everybody is facing the center. So right of E is this side, left of E is this side. So A sits to the immediate right of E. So this is one possibility. If you place A here, then E will be here. If you place A here, then E will be here. If you place A here, then E will be here. Okay. So I'm just choosing this spot randomly. I'm just choosing this, putting A here, and then making sure that A is to the immediate right of E. Immediate right means next right. Okay. And E who is not a neighbor of D, which means E is not a neighbor of D, which means you cannot have D here. If you cannot have D here, you can have D either here or we'll come to that. And if you cannot have D here, is this sufficient for you to answer the question first of all? Okay. If you cannot have D here, you can have D here or here. And what about B and C? You can have them anywhere you want. So this is definitely not sufficient. You cannot fix all five based on this information, because D is not possible here, but you can put D either here or here. And based on that, you can put B and C anywhere here. There are too many possibilities. Okay. So one alone is definitely not sufficient. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll move on to the next question, which will be, I mean, next statement, and see if two alone is sufficient. So definitely one alone is not sufficient. So the next step, what I'll do is I'll see if two alone is sufficient. So for that, I'll ignore this or black this out. So let's see if 2 alone is sufficient or not. So what is 2 alone? It is B is to the immediate left of D. Definitely it is not sufficient. With just knowing B is to the immediate left of D, you cannot find the, you cannot know what it is. Because you have to find who sits to the right of D. Right? So it is not possible. So what you do is add the data in both statements together. So you would see in that situation, for the first statement, I can place A and E here. You cannot have D here. But they say B is to the immediate left of D. If B is to the immediate left of D, you can only place D here. Then only D can be placed here, right? Because if you place D here, how can you place B to the immediate left? It is not possible. So you cannot have D here. D is not possible here. So place D here and then place B here. The only alphabet left is C. Place it here. So now it is fixed. The question is, who is second to the right of D? First right of D is C and second right of D is E. So when is that you are able to get an answer? You are able to get an answer if both data in both statement 1 and 2 together are necessary to answer the question. This option. So this is the correct answer. You are able to get an answer when both statements in both data in both the statements together, you have put them together to get it. Okay, right? So we'll move on to the next question, guys. If you have doubts, please do ask, or else we'll move on to the next question. Right, this is also a very common question. Read this, we take it from there. Right. So this question, what they say is 5 persons A, B, C, D, E are comparing the number of books which they have bought recently. And so each person have their own number of books. A bought more books than C and D, but not B highest. B bought more number of books than exactly one person. Then who of the following bought the highest number of books? So I'm going to rank them based on number of books they have. Okay. And the ranking is based on most number of books at the top. Okay, so if you have most number of books, you will get this position, first position. If you have least number of books, you will get the fifth position. Okay, now let's see how to use this clue. So we've done a problem very similar to this, but anyway, we'll read from here. They say A bought more number of books than C and D. Okay, so A bought more number of books than C and D. Again, there are many possibilities. A got more number of books than C and D. Okay, so we'll come back to this clue. We'll come back to this, but you should put A before C and D. But between C and D, we do not know who has more number of books. Okay, or who comes first and who comes second. We do not know. But before A, C and D, A bought more number of books than C and D, right? So this is the meaning. So we'll come back to this. A bought more number of books in C and D, but not the highest. Okay, but not the highest. So which means A cannot come here. So at this position, A cannot come here. Okay, so that is what you can understand from the statement. Okay, so which means you can have A here and C and D somewhere here, or you can have A here and C and D somewhere here. So which means A can be in the second or third position. Okay, that is what you can understand from this. A could be in the second position or the third position. Okay, now let's use the other clues, but we'll come back to it. B bought more number of exactly one person. So which means from the bottom, B is second, correct? When they say B bought more number of books than exactly one person. So he bought more number of books than exactly one person. That one person must be the last one, right? Because he bought more number of books than exactly one person. So B must be here. Okay. Now then, who of the following bought highest number of books? So from this, what can you understand, guys? See, let's say you put A here. Now C and D cannot be at the bottom. So the only possibility for A is here, correct? So now you can have C and D. You could have C or E here. Similarly, you can have E or C here, right? This is a possibility. So which is who got the most number of books? It is D actually. Okay, who got the most number of books? It is D actually. So right, so we have it now. Right, answer is D. So it makes sense. If it makes sense, we move on to the next question. Right. So let's look at the next question, guys. So you can see D is the first person. Right. We have another blood relation question, which we are going to solve now. 1 minute. Right. So I think you guys can try this. And something that I talked about previously, you can see that here. Okay, something that I talked about previously. You can just tell me what is it that I'm talking about here, right? If you know, please use the chat box. If any of you can reply, that would be really great. What is it that you can see, right? What is it that you can see? Right. So what is it that you can see, guys? Did you notice JK, JK, KJ? That is what I was talking about. Okay. So like, let me explain this. Okay. So you guys also try to answer this. I'll also explain this. Right. Now, you know, JK, KJ. Okay. Now, the you can see we start off with this. Okay. We start off with this. F at R. Okay, we start off with this F at R. What does at means? At means J is K's daughter. Okay, so which means here F is R's daughter, right? Which means F is R's daughter. So you can use this here. F is R's daughter. Okay, so sorry for this. F is R's daughter. Okay, so you can see the F is R's daughter. That is what I've written here. F is R's daughter. But at this point, we do not know the gender of R because I've already done this. You are able to see this. So F is R's daughter is the meaning of this. The next one is R percentage I. Okay, so the next one that I'll take is R percentage I. So what does percentage mean? Percentage J percentage K means J is K's wife, right? So here R is I's wife. So R is female, a couple sign, and I is male. So this is R is I's wife. So the next one is I division E. So the next one will be I division E. So now what it means is I division E is I is you can say, J division K means K is J's mother. So here E is I's mother. So because E is I's mother, you can see I've drawn it like this. E is I's mother. Okay, and they've interchanged K and J, guys. So watch this carefully. And finally, E percentage N. So let's use E percentage N. So now, wasn't what does percentage mean? Percentage means it is J percentage K is J's K's wife. So definitely E is N's wife. So that is what you see here. Now the question is how is R related to N? So how is R related to N? You can see R is the N's son's wife. So right, N's son's wife is daughter-in-law. Okay, so N's son's wife is going to be R, so which means R is the daughter-in-law of N. So daughter-in-law is the correct answer. Okay, so let's try the next question, guys. This one, similarly, again a ranking question, but still you guys can try this. Let's try and solve this. Among P, Q, R, S, T, Q is the second tallest. Try this. Read this and try this. We'll take it from there. Right. So what is happening in this one, guys? Among P, Q, R, S, T, Q is the second tallest. So we'll again arrange this. This again ranking based questions. We know is very important in TCS. 1 minute. So cancel. Ranking based questions. So again, the rank here I'll mark it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Among P, Q, R, S, and T, Q is the second tallest. So they clearly say Q is the second tallest. So Q, you can mark Q here. So rank is based on height. So the tallest at the top. Okay. So Q is the second tallest, and S is immediately taller than the shortest. The shortest must be at the fifth position. So S is immediately taller, which means fourth position we'll have S. And R is neither tallest nor the shortest. So you cannot put R here nor here. Okay, so therefore R should be at the third position. Okay, so who among them is in the middle when they stand in the order of the heights? Definitely it is R, right? The middle in the order of the heights are, you don't even need to know who's 1 5. Who's the tallest and shortest, you don't even need to know. I can definitely say the middle person is R here. So there you go. Right. Move on to the next question. Right. Um, let's see if you can answer this question again as data efficiency question. So read this. Right. So for this question, guys, the correct answer would be they are talking about given below is a question followed by two statements. So obviously it is data sufficiency. The question is, what is the color of human blood? Can you answer this question? We all know the red color is red color, right? So can you answer that question? Yes, here, because red is called white, white is called yellow. So you would just say white is the answer because red is called white. So I would say white is the answer. So one alone is sufficient. But two alone, is it sufficient? I don't think so because there is no mention of red at all here. Can you see that? There is no mention of red at all here. Okay, so two alone is definitely not sufficient. Okay, so there you go. Red is called white and white is called yellow. Therefore, there you go. Okay, so one alone is sufficient. This is the correct answer because we know it is red. So instead of saying red, by reading the statement, I'll say white is the answer. But here there is no mention of red at all. So using this statement, you cannot answer, right? But here it says red is called white. Okay, so anyway, so right. So the next one is this one. Again, a data sufficiency question. Please try to answer this. And I have to give you, if you do not know this, area of a triangle formula. Let me give you. Okay, if you already know this, it is case area of a triangle formula, guys. Some of you might already know this. Half into base into height. This is the area of a triangle formula. So hope it is useful. Try to get an answer for this. Right. So what is the height of the triangle ABC? So they are asking you guys to find the height. Okay. So you have to see if the given information is sufficient for you to answer this question. What is the question there? Whether you can find the height of the triangle. Okay. Now the first statement. So if ignore the second statement. Okay, completely ignore it. Just see if one alone is sufficient. Height and the base of the triangle are in the ratio 6 is to 5. Now, is this sufficient? Let's see if it is sufficient. We know area is equal to half into base into height. So, from this, what I can do is from one alone, yeah, the height and base are in the ratio 6 is to 5, which means base you can write it as 5x and height you can write it as 6x. Now, will this give you the area? No, right? You cannot find the area. You have something called x. You need to know the x value. Only if you know the x value, you find the area. So this is not sufficient. One alone is not sufficient. Okay, so now what do? You do two alone. Okay, so ignore one alone. Just watch if two alone is sufficient. So what does two alone say? Okay, two alone says the area of a triangle ABC is 60 square centimeters. Its perimeter is 36 centimeters, and its base is 5 by 18th of the perimeter of the triangle. Okay, so here the area is given. Okay, so I'll write formula here. The area is given as 60 centimeter square. The area is given. And not base is it given? Yes, they say base is 5 by 18th of the perimeter. So 5 by 18th of 36 is what? 10 centimeters, right? So the base is 10 centimeters is given. Height you have to find. And now you can easily find, right? So definitely all this you will get the answer, right? So this two alone, so this is an S. So one alone is not sufficient, but two alone is sufficient. So what is the answer? You should use this. The data in statement two alone is sufficient to answer the question. One is not sufficient to answer. This is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Okay. So shall we move on to the next one? Let's try the next one, guys. So this one. So this is again a blood relation question, which you all must try. Please try this. Then use the diagrams that I've taught you, and we look at the correct answer. Right. So Sohan and Saurabh are brothers. Tanya and Tashima are sisters, and they also talk. So let's first do Sohan and Saurabh. So first, let's say Sohan and Saurabh are brothers. So Sohan is like this. Saurabh is like this. These are brothers. So let us. So Sohan and Saurabh are brothers. And Tanya and Tashima are sisters. So I have to make sure that I mention them also. So Tanya is a female. Tanya and Tashima are sisters. Okay. So now you can pull them like this. Okay. Now what do you know about other what other information given? They say Saurav's father is the only son-in-law of Tanya's mother's mother. Saurav's father is the only son-in-law of Tanya's mother's mother. So first we should have Saurav's father here. Let's bring Saurav's father into the picture. So let's have Saurav's father here. This is Saurav's father. Okay. Now this person is the only son-in-law of Tanya's mother's mother. So first I should have mother for Tanya. So this is Tanya's mother. And again another mother. So mother's mother is obviously grandmother. So this is GM. Okay. Now they say that Saurav's father is the only son-in-law, which means this grandmother's daughter would be Tanya's mother, and Saurav's. I mean, 1 minute. Sorry for that. Um, yeah, son-in-law. Sorry. Then I should push this even further. Sorry for that. right? I'll push this even further. Okay, so here will be Saurav's father. So here will be the mother, right? And this will be the father. Here will be Saurav's father. And these two people are couple. Okay, there is a couple relationship between these two people. Only son-in-law means they must be couple, guys, or else it won't work. Okay, so right. So this is a couple relationship. Definitely a couple relationship. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so this is Tanya, right? So now you can see what this tells you is all these four people are siblings. That is the meaning. Tanya's mother, father, right? All the Sohan, Saurav, Tanya, Tashima, everybody is sibling. The question is, how is Tashima related to Sohan's father? So Sohan's father's daughter is Tanya. So daughter is the correct answer. For daughter, you have to use this symbol. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, for daughter, you have to use that symbol. And option B would be the correct answer. Let's try the next question, guys. Yeah, I think you can do this by yourself. You know, again, this is a it's a blood relation question. Maybe you can try it. We don't want to waste time. Next one, we could try the next one. Again, this is weighing directions, ranking. You can try this. Okay, I'll try to do something which is not syllogisms. We talked about it, but maybe some other time. We'll try this one. Okay, this could be a very good question. Okay, so let's try this. I think I already solved this. Right. Anyway, but we'll try this question. 8 people are sitting on all of them are facing towards one sits on the sides, only one person sits on each of the four sits. Try this, guys. Okay, try this, or we'll try this together. Okay, and we'll see. I think this could be the last question for today, but we'll try this. 8 persons, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, are sitting around a square table. All of them facing the center. So first, let's draw a diagram for that. Okay, so all these 8 people are sitting around a square table. So is it square or rectangle? All of them sitting a square. Okay, so let's draw a square. Definitely a square. Now, what do they say? Okay, now how is it that 8 people can sit in you know in around a square? I'll tell you how it is done. Here you could see the first person. They are all facing the center, right? You could have a person sitting like this. Okay, you could have a person sitting like this and looking at it in the opposite direction like this. So this is possible, and then you could have a person like this, and you could have a person like this. Right? Okay, so these 4 people, what about the remaining 4 people? Those 4 people will be sitting on the corners. So this is called sides. These 4 people are sitting on each of those sides because the square has 4 sides, right? You can clearly see this square has 4 sides. So out of this 4 sides, we'll have 4 people sitting here. Like for example, the first person here, second person here, third person here, and the fourth person here. What about the remaining 4 people? They'll be sitting in the corners. So that I'll indicate using a circle. So this is a corner. This here would be another corner. This here would be another corner. This here would be another corner. So this is how it is done. So you will have remaining four people sitting in these places. So totally now you see how eight people sit around a square. They are all facing the center. So that is something that I want you guys to write. So even though this guy is sitting in the corner, he'll be facing like this, and this guy will be facing the center like this, and this guy will be facing the center like this, and this guy will be facing center like this. Okay, so if each of these people, they will be facing the center like this. Okay, so there you go. Okay, on to, so we have eight people. Now let's substitute the alphabets and see how it is done. Okay, now the first thing they say is eight persons A B C D are sitting. We already know this. All of them are facing the center. Only one person sits on each of the sides, and only one person sits on each of the corners. Know this. So up until this, we've understood. Four of them sit on the sides and four of them sit on the corners. Okay, so up until this, we've understood. Now we get into the clues. Okay, I'll highlight the clues so that you can see this is where the real stuff is for this question. And the answer you have to find is who among the following is opposite to A. Now, C is sitting third to the left of B. Okay, C is sitting third to the left of B. So just substitute it and just see how I substitute it and change it as we go along. Okay, so I'll remove these numbers. It will create unneeded confusion. They say C is sitting third to the left of B. Okay. Now, how do I start? And also, there is also one more information that is given. So I'll highlight the clue which we are concentrating on now. The first clue that is given to us this. So what does the first clue say? C is sitting third to the left of B, who sits on a side. So B, you must always put him aside. There are four sides, right? So I'll just choose this side randomly. I'll choose this side and put B here. So C is sitting third to the left of B. Okay, C is sitting third to the left of B. So I'll use an arrow mark, guys. So I think that is. Let me just use it. So C is sitting third to the left of B. This is first left of B, second left of B, third left of B. So this is where C is sitting. C is sitting third to the left of B. So this is where C is. Okay. So now we'll come to the next clue. D is sitting opposite to H, who is sitting third to the right of B. Okay. So this is the next clue. Who is sitting third to the right of B? It is H. This is first right of B, second right of B, third right of B. So this is where H is sitting. And they also say D is sitting opposite to H. So opposite to H is, now remember opposite to H is this. Okay. So this is where you will have D, right? Because this here is opposite to H. Okay. And the next one is A is sitting second to the right of G. Okay, so this here the next clue. A is sitting second to the right of G. Now, where will you substitute this clue in this green color? A is sitting second to the right of G. If you put G here, this is one possibility, right? A is sitting second right is not possible. You cannot put A here. Already B is there. This is not possible. If you put G here, now it is possible, right? You could put A here. This is one possibility. Okay. Or if you put G here, you could put A here. This is also another possibility. So there are two possibilities for G and A. I think so. The next clue will clear it out. They say G is not sitting opposite to either E or F. This will tell you what it is. Okay, G is not sitting opposite to either E or F. Okay. Now, if you put G here, guys, okay, there is a possibility that E and F could be, right? Let's say you put G here. Okay. Now, where will you have A? You will have A here. And definitely here you must have E or F. Correct? Right? Definitely you must have E or F here. So, but they say that G is not sitting opposite to either E or F. So the only possibility is put G here and put A here. By this way, you can make sure that G is not sitting opposite to either E or F. You can see here G is sitting opposite to B, G is not sitting opposite to A or F. So that is achieved. So this clue is also taken care of. And the final clue that we need to read is F is not an immediate neighbor of F is not an immediate neighbor of H. So you cannot have F here. This is not possible. Then he would be an immediate neighbor of H, right? So the only place possible where you can have F is this, and you can have E here. So now the question is, you tell me the answer. Who is sitting opposite to A? The person sitting opposite to A is E. Okay, the person sitting opposite to A is E. Okay, right, guys. Okay, so I think that's it for this session. So I wish you well for your TCS NQT exam. I hope this 2 hours was useful, and I'll see you next time.